looking at the energy sector, I will be hosting Susan Siombua Kioko, who is the oil and gas consultant and also a key market player at Desman Energies. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Well, to begin this conversation, I will say that women, when it comes to the energy space, have not been quite proactive and have not been given the opportunity that they need, because I'm looking at the statistics here about 15. There was a webinar that was co-hosted by Africa Oil and AMP, and it identified one, education, gender bias, access to capital as key inhibitors, especially for women in regards to the energy sector, and also showed that their participation is quite low as compared to their male counterparts. And one of the issues docking this is access to education, particularly in science, technology, engineering, and math. But she is in the industry herself. So, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Yes, and before we look at the space of women or the role of women in the energy sector, let's first of all look at the sector itself. We have seen a number of changes and a number of promises, which are quite promising. Because I'm looking at, we had the tallow oil. We were excavating oil in Turkana. A number of things played out, but to cut the whole long story short, next year we could be back to drilling, and we've also seen some. We're also looking at renewable energy. I heard there's some, I think it's in some part in Mombasa where we're supposed to be having a nuclear power plant.
Yeah, actually.
So a lot is happening.
A lot is happening actually in that sector.
Yes.
Yeah.
From where you sit, where are we as a country when it comes to energy?
We are not keen on exploration, and some of the things touch on the innovative side that the government is trying to inject in that department or in that side. What I can say, in any industry, without facilities, it is very hard to explore that department to the core. And I think much can be done. Much is yet to be done. We are only on the setups. We've not even scratched on the startups in terms of now exploring or mining in that sector,
And we're talking about Kenya, and you've been in the space for quite a while. We know Uganda, you know, the oil passes through Kenya. You know, we also sell products to the region. From where you sit, from an oil and a gas perspective, where does Kenya realistically sit in the region? Because we have seen a practical example. We have fuel in Ethiopia, Uganda, and Tanzania being a little bit cheaper than here in Kenya. Yes, we are a bigger economy and a much stronger economy.
You see, what determines the pricing in terms of the fuel that comes into the country are the kind of duties and taxes that you've imposed. So in all these other market players or importers, let's say other countries like Uganda, maybe they have been able to watch and preserve in, the costings in terms of taxes. But for example, in our country currently, we have duties which are so high and taxes which have also prohibited the market players from investing within the country.
Yeah, and allow me just to mention this. It's not quite related to oil, but report reaching us is that Pest Control Product Board, that is PCPB, confiscated unauthorized and counterfeit products in Lodwar, Turkana. Some of the products confiscated were banned in 2013 with a street value of $250,000, that is 250,000 shillings. And it's quite significant because just this week on Monday, they did announce that the Gladiator 4TC that was banned from the market in 2021 has come back albeit in its counterfeit. So we are also keeping tabs with that, and we'll be getting you a much detailed and loaded report in regards to this. But for now, we continue with our conversation on servicing the energy sector, and a report that came out just a couple of months ago is that the Gulf Energy will be back to drilling perhaps in December of 2026. How significant is this? Kenya's back to the exploring of oil and gas.
You see, exploring oil is different from processing it. You can still explore, but still take it outside for refining. So still, we are still where Tullow oil was. And when I say this, the facilities that we have set up are not ready to comply with the refining of that same oil that we are drilling. So it's still, how do I say, a 1-1 still step, but we are hoping the facilities can be improved so that we can see our own oil refined within our own country. Yeah.
And in that Pest Control Product Board report that I have just read to you, my director, Jackie Wasolo, informs me that we actually have the videos of that exercise. Let's first of all cross over to Turkana and see what exactly PCPB are doing in terms of confiscating of products that were banned in 2013.
We were able to arrest 5 suspects, the major suppliers within the town. And they were presented to the court today for judges against, for contravening the act. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, just an extract, but we'll be giving you a much detailed report in regards to that. And just to inform you that we are keeping tabs with the drought situation in the country. And I have colleagues who are in different counties in Wajir, Turkana, Tana River. We did speak to Kasichana Masha. She was talking about with the KWS, where we do there are fears of wildlife and human conflict in regards to this drought, as animals just come out of the dry regions to where people live in search of the precious commodity. And we also have my colleague JJ Kyoria and Okware in Kitui County. Of course, more than half of Kenya's counties, over 20 counties, are facing severe drought situation. The government releasing funds each and every week to ensure that people do not die of starvation. But away from that, allow me just to go back to this conversation where we are looking at the energy sector, and I'm hosting Susan Siombua Kioko, who is an oil and gas consultant at Desman Energies, which is a key market player in the market. I'm talking about Desman Energy. What exactly are we talking about? We talk about the energy options that we have. We're talking about also renewable energy, or it's strictly oil and oil products?
This is strictly oil and oil products, and more specifically also in diesel. Knowing our economy runs on the diesel component a lot. We can maybe say around 70-30% within the market share. Yeah. So basically what we are doing is bulk reselling and distributing within our country. Yeah.
And I remember when it came to us drilling oil, maybe for Kenyans who do not exactly understand, what exactly happened to the deal that we had with Tullow, that we shelved it, and now we are reviving that project. What exactly played out that made us stop exploring oil in Turkana?
You see, unlike any other market industry, a lot is invested in exploration. And when such investors get into our country and they're not given the proper support in terms of even subsidized components that add to the total cost of exploration, that is why now they realize that the profits and the margins expected from such an investment will not be realized until a certain time, which takes long or stretched periods. So somehow I could say maybe the investor was not properly supported. Yeah.
And talking about the energy mix, in Kenya we are currently using a number of energy options, including wind and also fossil fuels. I'm looking at, when we talk about oil in Turkana, and now we have started, refocusing our energies and our attention in Turkana, and we are also a regional leader when it comes to geothermal, wind. Do we run the risk of, putting our emphasis and focus on oil and forgetting that we have been quite consistent in terms of renewable energy?
I should say yes. The consistency in terms of making renewable energy a home usage or a country dependable asset has been weak for the last few years. But with the technology and the evolvement in terms of what we should be moving from to where, I can see there is a lot of focus on that side. So for me, I can say there is not much effort that has been put. We have forgotten that we have a lot of other different forms of energy. And I can say it is also a good progress, because we've seen even some of the cars that come inside the country, they are using electricity. So meaning we are still advancing as time needs. Yeah.
And there has been growing concerns and also calls for us to be refining our own, oil products right here. Or should we stick to, importing and...
You see, currently we are struggling with our own collection in terms of taxes. So all the investments that need to be done on that sector are quite heavy. So we need to analyze what are our priorities. Do we need to start exploring oil? Do we start a refinery? We've seen Dangote do a really much exceptional work in Nigeria. So do we say that is exceptional in our country? They didn't focus on drilling of oil, but they focused on the refining. You understand?
Yeah.
So even if we say we are going to drill this oil, we will still have to export it outside for it to be refined, then we are given back our product. Don't you think that is a double cost? For me, that is my thinking.
Yeah. So we should just stick to, importing the...
For now, we should be working on the refining.
Refining.
Yes. Since the oil is there, do we have the facilities? If we don't have the facilities, why put much headache in terms of drilling? Who will be benefiting on the oil that is drilled within the country? Those are the questions that we need to be asking ourselves. Yeah.
And I do remember we had a G2G. I don't know whether we still have the G2G with Saudi Arabia.
It's still there, yeah, and it's operational.
It was signed, I think, it was spearheaded by the former ousted deputy president.
Yeah.
But now we will be, in the next couple of months, we will also be drilling our own oil.
Yeah.
Will this bring some relief to the pumps? Because I do remember during his presser, he said that it's supposed to bring, ease the demand for the dollar, because we're paying with Kenya shillings, and also it was supposed to bring down the cost of energy in the country. Do you think us having our own oil will bring down the costs, or it's just business as usual?
You see, you can have the oil, but you're not refining it. So I'm still going back again to the cost-effective projects. If we are going to drill the oil and have it refined from other countries and still have it back within our own country, I don't foresee any cost-effective project there. So for me, I would still be focusing or emphasizing on having a facility that can refine. Then from there, we can change the conversation in terms of drilling. Yes. The G2G, yes, it gave us a lot of relief in terms of the dollar fluctuations. And we can say, so far, so good, because we've not had the massive dollar hikes that we had seen in 2024. So should we say that is a good progress? Yes. Yeah.
And I know, oil and anything oil has a huge impact on communities and livelihoods. And looking at the webinar, and I've read some of the participants what they were saying, we need to have more women in this industry, and I'm thankful that I'm hosting you on this program. But their participation has been quite low, and especially in Kenya. Is what should be the next frontier? Because a lot of women are not doing the STEM subject, just like the report showed. And even if you are in the oil sector, you'll find somebody will tell you, I work for Desmond Energies. But you find that lady either HR, reception, or even marketing, but not into the drilling and the export business itself.
But currently, we don't have the drilling.
Or the business itself.
Yeah, it's just the business itself. In fact, all oil marketers are into distribution. That is what I can say. We have 0% in drilling. Every market player currently is into distribution. Whether you do it in small bulks, whether you do it in big volumes, it's still distribution. So for now, no one is doing the drilling. We are having the investors coming in to drill on our behalf. And that is where we are missing the gap. How can we incorporate the market players with the opportunities that we have to have them drill on our behalf? Dangote was not an unknown investor in his own country.
Yes.
But he made sure he was facilitated and given the environment to make sure he has partnered with other investors so that they can see the project prosper. Yeah.
But we don't have many women in the energy sector in the country.
It's a quite intensive affair because it is quite capital intensive. But I'm also happy with what banks are doing currently. They are really into supporting women-owned businesses. And now probably that is where now they should start stepping into. Because we have a lot of tailor-made financial options for women. Yes.
And now the whole world is emphasizing on zero emissions, you know, away from fossil fuel, renewable energy. How can Kenya balance fossil fuel? Because we cannot wish them away, at least not yet. We have seen electric vehicles in the last couple of years, but we are not there yet. How can we balance fossil fuel and renewable energy?
Still, the whole effect boils down to the costings. The reason you've seen a lot of electricity vehicles into the country is because they're saving quite a lot vis-a-vis using diesel. So, and even if we would have a lot of electric vehicles, or if we will be focusing on the other forms of energy, what are the facilities that have been laid down to accommodate such growth? So currently we don't have a lot of electric power points for the even vehicles that are coming in. So, or even if they are using gas, we are not seeing much in terms of facilities toward that side. And what I can advise people, that is also a market gap that is that can be explored currently. Yeah.
Yeah, and allow me just to interrupt, and we need to cross over to Kitui. We have been keeping tabs with the drought situation in the country, and a number of my colleagues are in various counties just to bring us the picture of how things are and some of the intervention maybe by government and other agencies in regards to this biting drought. Let's cross over to Kitui County. Two of my colleagues, that is JJ Kioria and Nancy Okware, I can see her on the screen just to bring us up to date with what is happening. Over to you, Nancy.
Well, a very good morning to you, Ben Troinjue. We are coming to you live from the Kitui Training Institute right here in Kitui town. Now, we are here because our drought coverage that started on Monday right here in Kitui County and, of course, other counties in the country will be culminating at this institute. Now, this is where we will be holding a town hall session later on in the evening just to give the members of the public and, of course, the various stakeholders in this county a chance to speak and air their grievances in terms of what they have been facing when it comes to the drought situation in the country. And of course, we've been talking to members of the public, and what we can tell you is that they already know what needs to be done by the various duty bearers to ensure that the food situation in the country is improved and that the country is well prepared to ensure that in the future we do not have such crisis. Now, this is the Kitui County Multi-Purpose Training Institute, and of course that will be happening later on in the evening where we'll be having a mini town hall. But again, we have been compiling a number of stories, just highlighting the plight of the county, what the area residents have been facing, given that Kitui is one of the counties that have been listed as being on the alert phase when it comes to the drought situation that has been occasioned by the failed rains in the season running from October, November, all the way to December. Yesterday, we had a chance to speak to the county commissioner, that is Erastus Mbui. He told us so far close to 200,000 people in this county are in dire need of food. And of course, they have been receiving food assistance from the various stakeholders, including the Ministry of Special Programs. And of course, the commissioner told us the focus has been on those who are in dire need of food and those who will not be able unable to survive without food. Now that includes children and of course, women, the elderly, people living, people with disability, among others. And he told us Mwingi North is one of the areas that have been greatly hit by the drought, with over 39,000 people facing, food shortages, hence the need for them to be supplied with food. And of course, we've been traversing the county. We've seen the devastating effects of the drought, running from, failed crops. Like yesterday, we visited a farm and we spoke to the farmers. They told us that after planting in October last year, they were anticipating rains, but the garden, the farm was actually bare. You could not even imagine that there's something that had ever been planted there, meaning that the failed rains have indeed failed the farmers. And of course, the search for water is also another task, as they have to trek for kilometers in search of water. Those are some of the stories we'll be highlighting at 9 p.m. when we'll be airing our special bulletin on the drought situation in this county. We'll also be addressing the state of insecurity, especially in Musenge area in Kitui South. We've been talking to some of the residents just to know what they've been going through. For now, it's back to you in studio.
Nancy Okware giving us an insight in regards to the drought situation in that county, and more specifically what will be hosted as a roundtable county discussion that will be there this evening, where locals can air their views and also their grievances in regards to this drought situation and some of the mitigation factors. There will be a roundtable that will also encompass leaders. That is a discussion that you don't want to miss, because we will be live as well. Very well, just in case you joined us, we are live from the broadcasting house and also live on all our social media spaces. We are servicing the energy sector with an emphasis on the distribution. And I'm hosting Susan Siombua Kioko, an oil and gas consultant at Desman Energy's market players, distribution chain market players here in the country. And we're trying to put things into perspective, and especially in the wake of Kenya's now, eyeing, do you remember the Turkana? Yes, we are looking at Turkana in a way that could help not only the economy, but also everybody in the value chain, including distributors just like Susan. Well, let's look at the distribution chain when it comes to oil in Kenya. How exactly, for the layman like me, how does it exactly happen? Because we only hear of the market prices, crude per barrel. It comes to Mombasa, it's refined, and the next time your vehicle is being pumped up with gas. Okay.
Basically, what is happening within our country, it's importation. So we have the refineries or the refiners.
Yes.
Now that is where Saudi Arabia comes in. Then from there, now we have our own market players who are termed as OMCs. These are oil marketing companies. They are the importers now. Once they link themselves to the refineries. Now, that's how they're able to access the commodity. Now, from that OMCs, or from the OMCs, they're able to import the oil into the country based on the taxes or the regulated need or parameters in terms of quality. So, from there now, we have now people like us who are we bridge. We are still oil marketers, but we can still bridge the oil marketers then to the resellers. Now, from resellers, now that's when you see the other distributors and market players like the petrol stations. Yeah.
So you pick the oil from the OMCs who have brought it to the port, and then you distribute it just like any other big company that is,
We are part of the OMCs, we are part of the importers, but still we do distribution now to the resellers. Yeah, there are some of the OMCs who don't sell within the country. Them is just to bridge the product between the refineries and the country. Yeah.
And when you talk about the oil business, it's a high turnover business.
Yeah.
And talking about billions, and especially when it comes to the last G2G that was supposed to bring down but that is something that Kenyans also want to hear.
Yeah.
Let's look at the financial needs in this value chain, because there are people like you, there are people who are bringing us oil. There is the Kenya and Saudi Arabia G2G deal.
G2G. Yeah. Mostly, I think it's a wake-up call for all financial institutes like banks, because we've seen trade has not been exploited to the core in terms of facilitating traders within that sector, because all these traders are using instruments of trade, SBLCs, LCs, and all that stuff, which has not been exploited properly within our own banking sectors. Yes, or even if it has, it is limited. Yes.
Let's look at the technology that is being used in the sector, and especially when it comes to the distribution value chain. How important and crucial is it?
Come again?
The distribution and the technology.
Technology.
Yes.
Actually, in the wake up scenario of AI coming in, I foresee scenarios whereby we will not be having people at the depots. So we really need to start challenging ourselves. What next? What are the other diverse storage systems that we can use within the country? We are always focusing on the pipeline and where it's passing through.
Yes.
And for ages, we've always had pipeline storage facilities based only in Mombasa, Nairobi, Nakuru, Eldoret, Kisumu, and that's it. So how do we diversify so that we make sure all these products reach the common end user without any inconveniences? Today, we don't expect to see a lot of trucks on the way, all the way from Nairobi to Garissa, all the way from Nairobi to the mountain region. We have the likes of Nanyuki. We should be having a storage point at that place. We have Mwingi, where we have very massive lands and nothing is happening there. How can we diversify all these? Even Turkana itself, it's drilling, but getting oil from Nairobi to Turkana is quite a handsome job. Yeah.
And we're talking about the distribution itself, because we were talking about that is what we should be doing now. The situation now, we are using parts with pipeline, and sometimes we're using rail.
Yeah.
How do we transport it from Mombasa port to Uganda? It's still a train, right?
Train is quite costly because most of these products are bulky. And we've seen even Uganda, they had to take their product, pump it all the way from Mombasa to Eldoret. What will happen if Uganda today builds its own storage facility, which I know it's underway? Does it mean our facilities in Eldoret will lie idle? Now we need to start thinking outside what we have been servicing. People like the market share of Congo is opening up. The market share of Rwanda is still opening up. So we still need to see how we can accommodate all these people, because if we keep on not executing the dynamics, we have the likes of Tanzania, they are eyeing that market. So where is our industry dominance when it comes to all these dynamics?
The financial needs still, I'm looking at even companies like you, like Desmond. Oil and energy is a big financial outlay. How are you able to circumvent these financial challenges?
I've said a lot of banks have known that there is a very big need in a lot of sectors, leave alone oil. And we have a lot of, I can say they have come up with a lot of tailor-made financial options for women, and especially women-owned businesses. We have a very big advantage compared to our fellow people, the other gender. When I say this is our brothers. So as women, we have a very bigger market advantage. So actually that is something I would really urge a lot of women to take advantage of. Yes.
I'm also looking at why you'll find, of course there are factors that play out, where you find fuel products are a bit cheaper in Mombasa. They are quite expensive in Turkana. They are quite expensive in very many parts of northeastern. A little bit expensive, 5, 6, 7, 8 shillings. But we are all Kenyans, you know. How can we bring down the cost to more or less have a uniform pricing when it comes to commodity? Because you're in the distribution value chain, and the more you take fuel away from its source, the more expensive it becomes.
But you see, currently what we have is only the Indian Ocean for us to dock this product. if, say, we would be having a product coming from all the way, maybe from Turkana, still even the market costings wouldn't be the same. There are costings like transport, like pipeline costs, like storage costs. Definitely they would affect the final costing in every region. So I think it's hard to get all this pricing equal at every given point. But I'm sure there are things which are also cheaper here. Like getting groceries from Nairobi, because we are near the mountain, is cheaper compared to groceries gotten to the other end, where is coast region. So all these commodities will always vary according to their, depending on their origin. Yeah.
And you have mentioned something very critical. You've talked about women-owned enterprises.
Yes.
And one of the biggest challenges that these women face is the initial capital.
Yes.
And also some of the running capital for the business, as opposed to their male counterpart. How can we bridge this gap to ensure that more women are in the industry itself and not in human resources, or, you know, we need them in the technical aspect?
I think we need a lot of sensitization, because I know a lot of women could be knowing, yes, we have a lot of advantages in terms of financial options, and maybe also the bigger percentage could not be understanding what are these financial options and advantages you're speaking of when it comes to women. Remember, business can be done by the elite, and business can be done even by the people who are not so exposed to education. So how do we bridge this? It's just through sensitization and making sure there are people who perform very well in businesses who are not even well educated. But the systems and dynamics of how you manage and the whole entire ecosystem is what matters. So what I would be advocating for is, can we see a lot of sensitization with this market industry? Yeah.
I remember the head of state, as soon as he took over the reins of power, he mentioned something very emotive to Kenyans and said that in the next couple of months, you will be buying gas, you know, shifting to gas at 300 or 500. Even if it's the gas cylinder itself, that has not happened yet. What is the biggest challenge of bringing the cost of gas down?
You see, you cannot, somehow some promises are erratic. That's how I can put it. Because you cannot peg costings on another country's product. This is not our own generated gas. If we were saying we would be drilling or exploiting our own gas, then we would see what kind of tax subsidies that can be imposed in such a manner that bring down the costing of the whole product itself. But as long as we are importing products which are not explode from our boundaries, then we will have to adhere to their own costings. Yes.
What about the taxation? I would like us to look at that, because just like you began to say that in as much as all the crude oil is brought to the coast of Mombasa, Uganda can pick it from there. They have their own ways that they do, at a fee, of course. And I'm also looking at why is it that you will find that even the prices of gas is quite different in the region? Is it because of the policies or the taxations?
The taxations. The policies are quite minute or a very small percentage in terms of costings, but what makes the whole product expensive are the taxing models. And for some reason, I don't know why experts have not been incorporated in terms of making decisions when it comes to these taxing models. Because some of these taxing models, we never used to have fuel levy tax.
Yes.
And even the taxation that we used to have in fuel used to be 8%. And all these roads were developed and they were done nicely. So what changes have been achieved by putting that, pegging the whole taxing system to 16%? We are still asking ourselves. So if you are collecting double of what we used to have, then we need to see a lot of changes or a lot of execution in terms of the taxing models that you're using. So it is not encouraging having very high tax models, yet we are not feeling where the taxes are being utilized in. Yes.
And we did see a big company that was not quite selling gas or fuel, but it was using, I don't know what to call it, but you know, the company itself, it's cocoa. and it's wound up
Yeah.
here in Kenya. Just to show you how a bit challenging this industry is. What are some of these challenges that are making some companies come mushroom and then shrivel up within a couple of years? Is it the volatility of some of the things that you're talking about, like taxes?
Yeah, taxes. We have seen taxes pushing out a lot of market players, even within ourselves, the oil industry. We have seen a lot of factories going down because of the taxation models. And if we are not keen, we will end up in a double taxation model, which we are not keen into observing as a country. The market share that Uganda locked out of our country was quite a significant thing. How they allowed it to happen, I still don't know. Was it hard just to give Uganda some taxation relief and we still enjoy their market share? You see, there are things we need to start thinking beyond, and then cooperating market professionals or experts so that they can advise the government accordingly. Because I feel like either the leadership is failing us, and if the government is not incorporating market experts, then they will be failing in their final execution and decisions that will be taken in terms of those market share. Yeah.
All right. You'll be talking about more in regard, and especially I want to know how you guys are going to be surviving, because we went wind, we have geothermal, we have we also have the other one we have in we have wind, geothermal, and which is the other energy that we are using here in the country? Hydro.
Hydro, yeah.
And of course, we are using oil and oil products. How you guys will survive? Because everything now, including vehicles, we are now charging them. Here, somebody asked for a certain charger to charge. Can you help me? I want to charge my car, just like a WeCharge. How are you guys going to survive? And especially you, that you're in the distribution chain. But first things first, let's first of all, my director informs him that we need to cross over to know exactly what other things are happening. Okay. And before we get to that live feed, just to inform you that the Law Society of Kenya are also holding their elections today to elect a new president after the term of the current one did end. We'll also be crossing over, maybe not this hour, but also be crossing over to Wajir and Turkana. We were in Turkana, we were in Tana River and also Kitui, just to have a feel of the drought situation and the mitigation as well. Very well. So you guys, as the you're in the distribution chain.
Yes.
And we have now resorted to a number of green energies. And Kenya is one of the leaders in terms of green energy in the region. How are you preparing for your survival in regards to that? Because
of course, you always have to work ahead of time and plan ahead of time. But funny enough, let me assure you, I don't see diesel exiting the market anytime soon. All these equipments, all these even the exploration site itself will be using diesel to explore the same oil we are speaking of. Yeah. So we are yet to be there. And once we also need to analyze what are the percentages in terms of the oil deposits that we have worldwide. Are they also ready to let go of these oil deposits? We might say yes, we are able to accommodate any form of change within our country, which is quite a fantastic thing. But the people holding the big percentages in terms of reserves, are they also willing to transition from whatever the old version now to the new version? So for me, I can say we are not yet there as a country. We are not yet there as a world as well. Yeah. Just in case you joined us, we're on the tail end of this conversation where we are looking at the energy sector, actually more or less call it servicing the energy sector. And I'm hosting Susan Siombua Kioko, who is an oil and gas consultant at Desman Energies, who are a distribution market player as well. As we wrap up this conversation, I'm also looking at Kenya Pipeline Company. I'm quite sure even those people who do not know about shares, they are listing their shares.
Kenya Pipeline Company is in the distribution chain, just like you.
Yeah.
How is it going to impact both economy and also you as one of the value chain?
In terms of their share, in terms of their shares?
Yeah, because of course there will be more money that is being pumped in into the into KPC.
You see, you can be given more funding, but you don't have ways of diversifying it into a profit-making entity. We have just touched on the lost market, Ugandan share. So, if KPC, what they get in terms of revenues is from the hospitality that they give the oil importers. What happens now that we are seeing Uganda trying to do their own infrastructure? We are seeing Uganda in the next 10 years, they will be having their own storage, meaning the only revenue we will be getting from Uganda will be the pumping revenue alone, without the hospitality. So if they are ready to diversify the proceeds into a more profitable, dynamic entity, then it will be a good thing. For us, there is nothing affecting us, not unless we have a private investor who will come with their own storage facilities within the country. And you see, with the dynamic change today, anything can happen. You can be a monopoly today, and tomorrow you don't enjoy the monopoly. So they also need to think ahead. Yeah. And
do you believe the margins that we are buying fuel? Let's say a practical example, petrol is about 170 something, to about 2-3 shillings each and every time. We're having those reductions, we're having those.
Yeah.
Do these figures represent or reflect what Kenyans should certainly be paying at the pump?
Currently, yes, because there is no option. The whole pact of taxation in terms of duties, the fuel levies, they add to the total, they are so extreme that now they drive the whole cost to a double costing compared to the importation costings. Yeah. I'm
informed we're almost running out of time, but I'm going to give you a minute or two for your closing statements, especially when it comes to the distribution chain and what more needs to be done, including some of the challenges that you guys are facing that can be checked and bring some relief into the energy sector.
The energy sector is facing a dynamic change currently from the OMCs who used to monopolize our market. So I think it is high time we need to see our own local companies growing and expanding to give more leeway to our young people to explore that industry. Unlike the OMCs who used to monopolize the market, they were internationally regularized. So how do we accommodate our own bred local companies into making entrance even into other countries like Congo, Rwanda, we are speaking of Zambia. So how do we grow them without letting these markets get occupied by the international OMCs that have had a very big market share in our own country? So I hope to see growth in that direction, and I'm hoping to see soon more entrance in terms of women into the same industry. Yeah.
And I'm hoping also as distributors you're also adapting to the changes that we do expect, because a lot of people and a lot of countries are turning on to green energy.
Yeah.
But as I always say, we cannot wish away the fossil fuels. We'll be here for a number of decades as well. But we are also looking at clean and reliable energy. I'll be speaking to Susan Siombua Kioko, who is an oil and gas consultant at Desman Energies, who are one of the distributors, or one of the value chains distributors in regards to oil here in the country. We've been looking at servicing the energy sector and how even women can play a more critical role in ensuring that we are in this industry together and there is more participation. 15% is a little bit on the lower side.